Now, the Eastern Cape has an abundance of natural resources, yet the female unemployment rate remains very high. A delegation led by Premier Oscar Mabuyane is unveiling plans to unlock access to the ocean economy. But is this just more empty promises? Ronald Masinda will help me answer this question as we find out. He joins us from Centane in the Eastern Cape. A very good morning to you, Ronald. What can you tell us? What is the latest where you are right now?
Good morning, William. Well, according to the provincial government here in the Eastern Cape, today is all about the acceleration of women's socio-economic emancipation and empowerment. And as you rightly mentioned in your intro, they will also be focusing on the issues at hand when it comes to ocean economy. But for more on this, I am joined by Premier Oscar Mabuyane. Sir, thank you so much indeed for your time. How important is the ocean economy, and how can people from these rural communities tap into it?
Thank you very much. Good morning to your viewers as well. As you know, that as the sixth administration, when we came in, it's one of the niche areas that we identified, including the cannabis, and we thought that this province should have actually moved far if we would have actually tapped into this oceans economy early enough when we came through in 1994. We are hard at work on that. As you would know, that we have developed a master plan through the Nelson Mandela University. We are basically working on it to roll it out now, and we are working with the department responsible national, the Department of Fisheries. We have actually given a couple of co-ops and individual fishing rights, permits for our people to fish around, but you still need more tools of trade. You still need boats for our people to work better. You still need development in this area for accessibility. You still need factories for those fish to be able to be processed here and then be able to realize the value chain of what oceans economy is all about. So it's one of our areas of focus, and we are hard at work. Our Department of Economic Affairs is working on all possibilities to look at it and working with all critical stakeholders to ensure that we realize the potential of the oceans economy for Eastern Cape.
Often people in rural communities are being deprived of these opportunities due to some red flags. What red flags have you identified as government?
There's been a lot of bottlenecks. You would understand we do have a couple of grants, the LRET, which are meant to unlock the potential, giving entrepreneurs in these areas an opportunity. We had Scala for young people and all that. We had to work very hard to really look at those, how we transform them to be able to be easily accessible to our people without really making it easy for everyone, just for people who would want to access. But we are making it a point that all these funds, grants that we are making available, whether it's in VABA, it is for cooperatives, they are able to assist people in rural areas. If you talk about the 800-kilometer coastline of Eastern Cape, the bulk of it is here in the rural part of the province, from the Kaya up to the Mtamvuma, Mbizana areas. So all those areas are really wild, and we need to tame this wild coast by actually working on the oceans economy, as you have said. So we are putting together all those packages, also inviting National to come on board to ensure that giving our people just a permit won't help. Those people can no longer continue being black divers. They must continue doing a proper professional fishing. That's why we're looking at options of how best we can identify opportunities for through DTIC and other economic development departments to see to it that how do you help those people with boats, fishing boats and all those issues, but also how do you make sure that they've got equipment when they bring back those fish, where those fish won't be able to be actually well processed, to ensure that they still get to the market being fresh fish as you would want to see them.
Premier, in 2023, a lot of people still live in dire poverty. I mean, just a few days ago, while we are celebrating Women's Day, few days ago near Butterworth, a woman killed herself and her 3 children. And people on the ground there say that this woman has been, worried about how she's going to keep her children alive, keep food on the table. I mean, this is a story that has been retold in the province. How do we improve the lives of people in such a dire situation?
Nothing less than the economic development. This is a very unfortunate situation. Firstly, I would want to take the opportunity to extend our word of condolences, heartfelt word of condolences to the family, Buso family, in the Butterworth area where the incident took place. You will also understand that the family, the kids were beneficiaries of our child support grant from government. That's what government can do to keep families going. It will be unfortunate to parents who are not more than 60 years old, as you would understand. Yes, those grants are too little. That's why government is able to give those grants to kids, but able also to feed kids in school, which is exactly the acknowledgement of the challenge of poverty we have. We have developed that strategy, the poverty alleviation strategies, and we are also pushing back those frontiers of poverty by those sort of interventions. They are not enough. They are not sustainable. It's just an interim intervention as government probably would actually afford. We're looking at that. That's why this unfortunate story of Eastern Cape, from colonialism, deliberately neglected for all these years, and it's still unfortunate that after 30 years we are where we are as a province. But I can tell you, we are turning the tide, we are working very hard, we are improving the infrastructure, road network across the province. It's not easy. We are coming from a very low base, but we are working very hard in bringing more investment to come. Our last investment conference gave us about 170 billion. Yes, still concentrating in metros, your East London ITZ as well as your Kucha. We are looking at our Wild Coast SZ adjacent to Mthatha to ensure that we are able to spread this. But the issue is economic development, government, national, provincially. That's why the president is coming here Friday. You will hear that from ordinary people. That's why we have got agriculture here. That's a big one for us. If we can tap into that space, process all the products that we're getting out of agriculture, I can tell you we can go far. So we're working on that as a province.
Premier, I'm told that I don't have much time, but I want to ask you about Isikalo, the youth program that you as a Premier and your administration has invested in, and this has to do with the young people in business receiving funding. There was a protest not too long ago where they were complaining that funding, they couldn't see where the funding was. I want your reaction because they were looking for you, Premier.
Sometimes people can blow things out of proportion, out of mischief, basically. Because if people want information, they can always easily access information. I can tell you every cent of Skalo hasn't yet much. It's only now that I've been demanding from Provincial Treasury that we give not less than 100 million. So far, we've given not more than 50 million to all in all these years that we've been coming. We were reviving that initiative, that idea. I can tell you, you move across this province, Skalo has made an impact. There are a number of other young people you can easily find. We can give you the report, the detail, where this person is, what this person is doing. We have done that. It's clear. It is there. So anyone who wants information about that without actually doing funny things like those that we're seeing, also misleading other people for wrong reasons. So it's very unfortunate. But I can tell you, Skalo is making a huge difference. There can be people who can do testimonies. We have been having testimonies of young people who have their lives being changed by a Skalo intervention. It's a grant that changes people's lives. It is just allowing entrepreneurs to kickstart their lives moving forward.
Presidential imbizo taking place on Friday. Will you be there?
Definitely, I'm there. We will be welcoming President. We're looking at people of Christiani, looking at people of Amatole, Mngoma areas in particular. The project that President will be visiting is a water project. We're done with first phase, which is more Christiani part. Second phase, which is more allowing Amatole part, your Mngoma, Mngamakwe, Tsuwa areas to get that water into our people as well as in other parts of southern part of Ngobo areas that will be getting water from there. So we know that water is life and we need water out of taps in the Eastern Cape. If you talk about water, you talk about women emancipation. It's only women who go and carry on their heads the 20-liter bucket of water to actually make sure that there's food in our household. So if we bring water closer to our families, it's a women emancipation.
Premier, thank you very much indeed for your time. We really appreciate it. That was Lubabalo Oscar Mabuyane, Premier of the Eastern Cape, who will be one of the guest speakers at today's Women's Day event.